Today's video looks at dams and whether we should be damming rivers or whether we should not dam rivers. Here's an interesting question for you. Are dams marvelous feats of modern engineering or environmental nightmares? Now, from today's video, you'll probably learn there's arguments for both sides of that story. But without them, we would not have a dependable supply of water or electricity, nor would we feel relatively safe from floods. For many decades, dams have been seen as symbols of a country's progress and economic development, but more and more the true costs, socially, economically, and environmentally, are emerging. And we'll be looking at the positives and negative aspects of damming a river. And on the right hand side here, we've got a photo or a drawing of a typical dam and the physical characteristics and aspects that could be around any given dam. Now, the numbers on the image are going to be associated with either a positive or a negative aspect. So number 1, regular water supply allows for irrigation farming. Only 18% of the world's arable land is irrigated, but it produces over 40% of crop output. So arable means that land that is actually could be used for farming. So damming a river allows water to be used for agriculture and on farms. The second positive, released water can generate hydroelectricity, which accounts for 24% of global energy and 90% of renewable energy. So fair to say that if we can produce electricity from water, that's a cleaner energy source than burning fuel or coal, for instance. Dams can hold back water to reduce flooding and even out seasonal changes in river flow. Fairly self-explanatory. Dam wall can hold back potential floodwaters. And the last positive, income can be generated from tourism, recreation and the sale of electricity, water and agricultural products. So people are making money out of these dams, whether that's from tourism, recreation, or as mentioned, the sale of electricity. Let's have a look at some negatives. Large areas of fertile land upstream become flooded or inundated as water backs up behind the dam wall. Alluvium or silt is deposited in the calm water that previously would have enriched floodplains. So as the water gets banked up, the height of the water is going to rise and just inundate anything that would normally be above the surface. 6. Initially, flooded vegetation rots and releases greenhouse gases. That's obviously a negative. 7. The release of cold water from dams creates thermal pollution. Originally, the Colorado River had a seasonal fluctuation in temperature of 27 degrees. Today, temperatures average 8 degrees all year. The water is too cold for native fish reproduction, but is ideal for some introduced species. Now, this is an interesting one because we have different temperatures in water depending on either side of the dam. So cooler water will be up here, where species not all species can survive in different water temperatures. And if they get let through into the dam, obviously if the water's a different temperature down here, they're not going to survive. So it has a massive impact on species, fish in particular, but any animal that lives in the water. Some dams are constructed in tectonically unstable areas which are prone to earthquakes. Dams block the natural migration of fish upstream. Another big factor. Over 7% of the world's fresh water is lost through evaporation from water storages. So can you imagine this water's been stored, okay, which might be originally or would be originally flowing, and it's a massive pool, really, where water can evaporate into the sky, obviously, and make its way through the water cycle. Sure, it will come down again as precipitation, but maybe not over this dam, maybe somewhere else where it's not being caught and being brought back to this dam. So 7% of the world's fresh water. Imagine what that could be used for around the world. And our last one, more than 30 million people worldwide have been forced from their homes and land due to dams. Often these people are poor or indigenous and received little compensation. So once where houses were along a flowing river, for example here around 11, due to the dam being built, the water is obviously going to be backed up, and the water level will rise and take over any houses or people that were living here. As a result, they have to move. Now that's obviously a negative impact of a dam. River fragmentation, we'll touch on this. River fragmentation is the interruption to the natural flow of a river by a dam. So figure 2, which is this map of the world, shows the degree of river fragmentation or interruption in the world's major drainage basins. So the darker the red, that's the most highly affected. The green is unaffected, and the orange is moderately affected. Anything that's in the white or the purple has no data or has not been assessed. So river fragmentation is an indicator of the degree to which rivers have been modified by humans. Highly affected rivers have less than 25% of their main channel remaining without dams, and or the annual flow pattern has changed substantially. Unaffected rivers may have dams only on tributaries, but not the main channel, and their discharge has changed by less than 2%. So looking at that map, we can see that most of, or a large percent of the world's rivers systems has been affected by human activity. Dams, reservoirs and weirs have been constructed to improve human well-being by providing reliable water for agriculture, domestic and industrial use. Dams can also provide flood protection and generate electricity. Now, 2 activities I'd like you to take away and complete is number 1 and number 2.